Hi, welcome to the Handmade Bookmakery. I'm Sam, and I'm back with the next instalment on making my new notebook. I made the cover in the last video, and then I got really overexcited and put my signatures together like this, and just immediately started sewing one into the book, which was not what I intended to do. I hadn't put the signature covers on, which are made from, a light cardstock, so they give a bit more protection at the outside. And I was going to just leave them out, but then I thought, actually, no, I want to be able to make some pockets, particularly in the front, for holding small bits and pieces that I need, like books of stamps and things like that, which I just keep in my daily notebook so I can always know where they are. So yeah, I kind of, messed up really by just getting over enthusiastic. So you can see here we've got one signature that's already in the book, and I've made a proper mess here trying to work out my holes, which I'm going to have to deal with. And I also... No, I have no idea what I was going to say. Okay, so these are signatures made of all different sort of coffee stained or otherwise stained. I think that was some food colouring. The greeny ones, I'm not particularly fond of them. I'm trying to use them up. But all sorts of different stained and coloured papers that are all writable, and there are 15 sheets in each signature, which makes 30 leaves, 60 sides, 12, so 360 pages, is that right? I don't know. 4 signatures, 15 sheets each. Somebody else can do the maths. It's not my forte. So much as it pains me after I've got it in, I actually want to cut this one out. I think I need to clip it before I undo it, because that might save a little bit of a headache with everything moving around. So let's find the middle of the signature. If you can hear talking in the background, that is my son at school in the kitchen. He is in his exam year here in the UK, so he is managing to continue studying quite hard. Right, I'm cutting it out. Studying really hard while we're on lockdown, although it looks like he probably won't be taking his exams in their usual form. Well, he definitely won't be taking his exams in their usual form. They have cancelled them. Right, so that's that. So what I want to do is put this... Right, so I've got my signature covers in cardstock, and they are all slightly different scans of collages that I've made from vintage papers. And I have backed it with this shabby grid, grungy grid, and I've inked it a little bit too. So I just want to get this on here in the right alignment. Okay, that's about right. And okay, so that's clipped, and now I need my needle. It is. Right, this is quite a thin wax linen thread, so I'm actually going to double it. Okay, and I'm going to just tie a knot, not to stop it going through the hole, just to keep it together because it's all curly. Curly. Right. Oh, I'm fingers and thumbs this morning. Okay. Okay, so my holes are already punched from that first signature. Once I've got this one back in, I will show you the sort of the measuring process I used for this particular journal. So I want to go all the way through, and I'm going to have to pierce that outer one because it's not there yet. And what I actually might do is pierce it from the inside with my needle, so that, yeah, okay, so we're going in through the centre, and then we're going to find the first hole in the signature. Okay, I have pulled it tight, which was not my intention. Okay, the tail, and then we're going to find that hole there. And here. Sorry if my head's in the camera. I have to, I have got varifocal glasses, but I have to sort of, I find it easier for some reason to peer over the top of them to look at small things. I look like some kind of, I don't know what I look like, but I'm peering at things. I was not blessed with the good eyes. No, I was blessed with good eyes. My eyes work, just not perfectly. I'm incredibly short-sighted, and I'm becoming long-sighted as well as I get older. Right, I have stretched the hole in the cover a bit, but hey hey. Right, I'm coming up here. Sorry for the head if that was back in camera. Okay. Far too much thread as usual, but better to be safe than sorry, I think, particularly as it's the second time I've sewn that in. That's wiggly. Right, let's see. We're tight there. Right. You see, you don't want to pull too hard and rip through everything. You don't want really wiggly signatures either. That's better. That's got less wobble. So you've got your middle string here, and then you need one either side. And the reason you need that is if they're both on one side, the knot might, sorry, let me take this needle off. I'm really having coordination issues today with little things. The knot could pop back through the hole and everything will come apart. Okay, so that's that one back in. I'll take these clips off now. Okay, so that is the first signature in with its signature cover this time. And I can tell, even with this one in, what a lovely, fat, squashy book this is going to be. The cover is, you know, it's durable and sturdy. It's going to have some kind of seal, something on it. I haven't decided what quite yet. But it's, you know, it's durable, but it's soft. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so I've worked out here in pencil where I want my signatures to go. And what I'm going to do is just get my awl, and I'm going to pierce all the holes out now. And then I'm going to just see if I can get rid of some of those pencil marks. So I'm just going to find the centre there and push it through. Now I left a little extra gap in the middle because I thought perhaps it won't go in there because this is too tight, because this is open, you see, this because it's part of the pocket either side. And I was thinking maybe there would be space to put a pen in there, but it's pretty tight, and once I've got signature stitched here and here, there isn't going to be room. But you could, if you had a pen with a clip on it. I'm not suggesting, no, it hasn't even got a clip. I'm going to show you with a giant Posca pen. Here we go, here's a pen with a clip. But you would be able to slide a pen in like that. And you can see there, if the two signatures are there, that would just sort of sit in the spine of your book quite nicely. So that would work. I will probably put a pen holder on the outside, as I did on my other one. But haven't quite decided yet. Right, I'm distracting myself by talking about pen holders. I do like having a pen holder on my notebook, for obvious reasons. Right, I've made 2 marks there. Just trying to move aside. Right, let's go there. And here. This fabric moves, so it's a little bit tricky to sort of know where you're going. Right, 1, 2. I'm pushing the all through to make these reasonably large. I tend to pull and make them bigger anyway when I'm stitching. It's just, I don't know, just how my books turn out. And you can always cover the stitching if you don't, you know, like how it's come out. All right, that's really a fat line. It's a bit hard to tell where I meant it to go. Okay, hang on, last one. Okay. Right, let me just see if I've got a rubber. There we go. Alright, let's see if any of this will come off. Oh, a little bit. Enough so it's going to just look dirty, I think, which is kind of okay. And you won't see a lot of it. Okay. Okay. I'm sure that was thrilling. Right. Let's get the next signature. Okay. So my holes are nicely... You say that? I can't even see that one now. There you are. Yeah, you are there. It's just that deli paper's, yeah, making it hard to see. I need to be able to see to mark the pages. All right, let's get those nice and obvious for now. So what I'm going to do, let's get this right way up. Right, I'm going to take the centre page from my signature and I'm going to line it up with top and bottom and the first signature, and along with those holes and get it where I think it's got to go. I think the first one, look, it's not even properly folded. Okay, that'll help. Yeah, I think that one's a tad nearer to the top than I probably wanted it, but that's okay. Right, get a pencil. Okay, so I'm going to mark there, there, and there, next to the holes on my cover. Then I'm going to take, right, this is my book cradle, which my dad bought for me. It's fairly inexpensive. I don't know where he got it. I think it was eBay, to be honest. It wasn't expensive. It comes sort of flat packed and you put it together yourself. And I find it really useful for punching holes. I'm not the most accurate soul. I tend to sort of run at things, and this kind of just makes it a bit easier. The other way I did this before, I had either just straight down onto a mat, or into the spine, you know, open up an old book or a phone book and then sit your signature, the fold in the fold of the book, and punch through that way. I like to punch my signatures from the middle out. I get a better result that way. Right, so I'm going to put this in here, I'm going to make sure that all the pages are pushed right up to the right hand side. I'm going to clip the signature so we don't get too much wibbling around. And I'm going to punch through the holes that I marked. It's quite a lot of pages, so I'm having to go quite far. It's giving me quite a big hole, but I don't mind that. These are not pages I'm gonna be embellishing. They are going to be just for writing. Right, okay, I'm going to have an avalanche on my left hand side if I'm not careful. Right, okay, so I'm going to just sew this one in, and then I will do the other two in a minute. I won't make you sit through all four. Right, I'm getting tangle. I pre-cut some thread, and now it's all just tangled up in a mess. Okay. Can you see? Sorry if I've been off camera for ages. Still getting the hang of this thing. And where I can't bring my camera forward, so at the moment, because of what I've got it hooked to, if that makes sense. So I'm having to work sort of further back on my desk than feels natural. So I need to get better at that. Okay. Here we go. Right. Okay, so if you don't know the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, we'll do one more time. In through the middle and leave your tail. Find the centre hole on the cover and come back through this hole, in through here, all the way down to the bottom. Back out that way. Okay, have a little tighten up. Okay. And then back, back through here. Right. No, it's come in the wrong place, so I can't see what I'm doing. Come along. Right, it's been really, really easy up till now, hasn't it? And this just happens, you know, you'll get a difficult bit. There we go. And you just have to sort of wiggle your needle around until you, wiggle your needle around until you find your way out to the other side. Right. Okay. Just a quick check. It's looking nice and snug on the outside. Just get the needle off before I impale myself. Okay. Just a double knot. There we go. So, 2 signatures in. Look at this fatness. Yeah, you can see I've pulled on the holes here. I don't really mind that. You could ink up around those if you wanted to leave the spine uncovered. This will probably end up getting covered again. But yeah, that's just because I'm heavy-handed. I'm not necessarily good at doing delicate, precise, neat things, which is why I make wonky books and grungy journals and shabby things. A, because I love the style, and B, because it's how I make. It's what comes out of me, and I don't enjoy having it. Sometimes I like being precise, but for the most time I just like to feel less constrained by rules, and I like kind of making things up as I go along and working things out. Anyway, I'm going to go off and stitch in the other 2 signatures, and I'll come back and show you when that's all done, and we'll maybe just have a quick look at putting on the pen holder and some smaller pockets on the inside. Okay. Right, I'm back and I have bound all of those signatures in. It's quite fat. I think I might have gone slightly overboard with the amount of papers that I've put in here. So you can see I've got a really chunky, if I let it go, it's like that. But actually, there's a lot of air in there in the tea stain paper. And if I compress it like this, you can see that it's going to squish down in time. So they're all in there. It's rather lovely. I'm very pleased. You can't get the pen in like I thought, but it does. A small pen will just sit there and it doesn't. Sorry, I've just wobbled everything doing that. That was really silly. Sorry, childish moment. The pen does sit in here quite snugly because I haven't done these evenly. I've left an extra gap there. But that said, I'm going to put the pen holder on the outside anyway. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to put some little pockets in here on the first signature for, like I said, just small little things. And I've also had a change of heart about the cover because I don't dislike it. I'm not thrilled with it either. I think it's a bit dull. So I wanted to add a bit of colour, so I'm going to sacrifice this image here. And I've got this number label that I've printed and cut out. I think I took this out of this was a photo on Unsplash, which is like a royalty-free Creative Commons site for predominantly modern photography. But you can find some interesting textures and things on there. So that's where that came from, and this also was from an image of some books, and I've cropped out the one of the labels from the spine, and I think I'll sit that like that. So I'm going to have my cover like this, and then this will be the pen holder, so that will come sort of across there like that. So we're going to have this type of affair. It's all a bit mismatched, but I like that. And these are just, you know, this is a digital, a vintage pattern that I just love. So this has been printed onto printable canvas, which I bought just to try, although I have to say it is really expensive for, you know, for what it is. So it's this. I bought it on Amazon. Snap Paper Craft Papers 350 gram art canvas A4, 10 sheets in the pack, and it was about £12, so it's about £1.20 a sheet. So I don't think I'm going to be buying huge amounts of this, but I have a pack now, so I have 10 pieces to use. So I thought I would try it out on this, and it's printed really nicely. It did easily feed through my printer with no trouble at all, and it's got, you know, it's got that lovely, I don't know if you can really see it, but it's got that lovely canvasy texture. So I've just cut a couple of pieces. This will be the little pockets, and this is for the pen. So I want to use some of this glue here. to put these front elements on, and I'll use art glitter glue on the pockets inside. Why? I don't know. Partly because I think the on the outside, the Fabri-Tac type glue, this is not Fabri-Tac, the Fabri-Tac type glue, that acetone based glue, is sort of more waterproof, probably. I am going to seal it though. Okay, so let me, look, I've got that same pattern on the back of those. That was from a double-sided piece I'd printed, but never mind. So, do I want that on top? Or underneath? I think like that. Okay, so this is a Fabri-Tac bottle. The glue in it is the Yoo-Hoo brand wet glue, and it comes in a metal tube, sort of, you know, like old toothpaste tubes used to be before they were plastic. And I used it as a child, and when I got my first bottle of Fabri-Tac, the way it volcanoes out the tops just reminded me, and the smell reminded me of the Yoo-Hoo wet glue. You know, the Beacon glues are really quite expensive here in the UK, and I can buy, you know, sort of 6 tubes at a time of the Yoo-Hoo glue, and I can't remember the price difference, but it works out really cost effective. And I just refill the bottle from the one and only bottle of Fabri-Tac I had bought some years ago, and I've been refilling that bottle from the tubes. The tubes are worse than the bottle. They are useless. You cannot stop the volcanoing at all. I find that my upside down method, I know people use icing bottles and things. I have got some icing bottles somewhere. Sorry, I'm really not coordinated today, so I'm going off the edge, and there's not a lot I can do about that if my hands are not doing as they're told. Okay, so let's put that there. Yeah, the glue. So anyway, I use Yoo-Hoo wet glue, which smells, behaves and performs pretty much identically to Fabri-Tac as far as I can tell. Okay, so to do this pen holder, oh, we've had a splodge. Right, let's get that off there. I've done quite well up to then. I think the sealer will cover that. Okay, so what I first want to do is adhere it on the back, like this. Just a little overlap. Okay, so it's going from just under the strings to just over the strings. So if you've done some bodgy binding, which is quite a good way to disguise it. Okay, so I've got a decent bead of glue going down there, and I'm just going to pop this on as straight as I can. Okay, I'm going to wait for that to dry for a moment. I'll try not to fiddle with it for a minute. I might just flip this carefully and let that dry while I do the inside pocket little tuck thing. It's not really pocket. It's going to be a little tuck spot. So this is the canvas again. And it'll be good to see how this performs in terms of wear and tear. So I'm going to glue it all the way around the edge and then sort of here and here. I was going to leave it as one section, but of course if you stand the book up, everything will just down to the bottom, and that's no good. So I will divide it roughly into 3 sections. I'm not really bothered about it being totally even. I'm going to use art glitter glue for this because it's easier to be neat with, I think, compared to the Fabri-Tac for sure. So all the way around the edge, which there's a reasonable amount. It's just going to be for little things really. And then about here and about here. There we go. Just pick it up. Get it the right way round without sticking my fingers in the glue. Now you really don't get a lot of wiggle room with art glitter glue. So that's where it's landed. And that's, I think, where it's going to stay. Right. I did ink those a little bit. Let me see if I can find something to pop in there. So we'll have, yeah, a little bit here, a little bit here. I'm not sure that's stuck in those bits. Right, now I've been wiggling this around and I hope it's stayed straight. Oh, by some miracle it has. Right, are those little bits? Oh no. Right. Okay, it does not like art glitter glue. Right, I'll have to, I will come back and restick that. Unless I've got other glue in here. Right, some of it's stuck and some of it hasn't. It's really weird. Right, let's do this. Okay, well that's worth learning, that it doesn't work very well with Fabri-Tac. That ends on. It's really weird. I hope you haven't got a view of my head. You may have a view of my head. Unless we're locked down. I have terrible roots. I'm not seeing anybody, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter anyway, does it? Right, so that hasn't worked there. Okay, no, it's pulling up. Right, I'm going to come back and fix that at some other juncture. I might try and manoeuvre this into the sewing machine and give it a little stitch, or I could hand stitch to get it down, but that's worth knowing that the stickiness of that and art glitter glue doesn't work. I hope it has worked here. It feels relatively firm. Let's see. Right, let's put the pin back in this. Okay. Right, so to do the pen holder, all I want to do is put my pen in there. Sorry, put my pen in there and bring this over and round. Yeah, so I know, again, I'll try and get rid of these later. So I know that that and there is where I start sticking the canvas. Okay. Oops, I'm going off the edge. Okay, should be okay. I just don't want it to stick at the back. So line up my little marks. Pop it down. And hold it in place. And then you'll be able to pop a pen in and out of there like that. So other than putting a coat of medium of some description over this, could be Mod Podge, could be matte medium, or it could be the I buy an acrylic medium that I first saw being used by on Artie May's Andrea's channel, and it's by a company called Art Van Gogh, and it's called acrylic wax medium or something like that, and it's lovely. It gives a really lovely sort of, you can sand it or buff it to make it shinier or duller, but actually the natural finish it leaves is really nice satin, and I really like the texture it gives things, particularly over things like decoupage napkins and things like that. Anyway, I digress. I think that's it for today. I am really happy with this fat chunk of a book. Okay, so I just want to show you what we've ended up with. I managed to get the glue to work. So I have 3 little sections in here. And I'll pocket in the front. And then the pen holder, I don't know how this is going to pan out really. This is quite stiff, and I thought that would be a good thing, but it's actually making it sort of sit a bit weirdly. And this is quite loose. I could probably get about, 3 pens in there. I probably left too much room, and I think that's probably because it's such a wide spine. The other one that I made from fabric on here, so this was fabric that I think I'd either glued onto some paper, I think, and then stuck it down in exactly the same way. But you can see this is a much narrower spine, which of course doesn't leave the pen all that space to wiggle around. So it sits in there really nicely, whereas here it sits quite weirdly. I could probably get, several more. Anyway, we'll see how that goes as it wears. I suppose the other thing you could do would be to stick like a little bit here and a little bit here, and then pop it in like that. So that's one way of gluing it differently. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see how that goes, and if it really isn't working, I shall remove it and put something else on there, because above all, this is a practical book. It's my catch-all notebook for everything, or it will be when I move into it, and it needs to be functional, as well as lovely. All right, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.